So we're going to move on to the next section of our sentence structure unit, and we're going to talk about sentence types now. There are three types of sentences. A sentence can be a simple sentence, a compound sentence, or a complex sentence. And to help you decipher between them, we're going to pay attention to the definitions of simple and compound. Again, you're working yourself through your sentence structure packet. So you are filling in the blanks as we go on page 6. So simple means one when we're talking about sentences, and compound means more than one. So a simple sentence is a single independent clause. It's a sentence that just has one idea. For example, I had 2 Snickers bars yesterday. It's just one idea. It's me eating candy bars, and that's it. When you check it with a "is it true that" trick, it should always be a yes, because it is a complete sentence. It just has one idea in it. The next type of sentence is a compound sentence. A compound sentence is 2 independent clauses or 2 complete sentences joined together with a comma and a conjunction. And the only way that this is ever okay to have 2 complete sentences in one sentence is if you have the magic comma and conjunction to join it. So for example, first I ate dinner, comma, and then I sat down to read my stupid book. The comma and the conjunction and make it okay. It's like the magic glue that holds it together. If you do not have that conjunction and you just use a comma, then you're creating a run-on sentence, and we're going to talk about those, but they're bad. So you always must have the comma and the conjunction. If I'm using my "is it true that" trick to check my compound sentences, I have to check both sides of my sentence, and I leave out the comma and the conjunction, and I should be able to say yes on both sides. So, is it true that first I ate my dinner? Yes, I ate dinner. Okay. And then the second part, is it true that then I sat down to read my stupid book? Yes, I can answer yes to that too. So as long as there's a comma and a conjunction in between it, it's fine. If it's missing a conjunction, then it is a run-on and it is not a complete sentence. A conjunction, like and, are words that join words, phrases, or clauses. There's and, but, or, etc. Okay. There are many. For example, there are the fanboys, as we call them. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You can use any conjunction you'd like as long as it makes sense with the sentence. It doesn't matter to me if it's your preference and it makes sense in the sentence, then as long as it's there, I'm happy. Our last type of sentence is a complex sentence. It's an independent clause, a complete sentence, joined with a dependent clause, a fragment. So, for example, since we're running late, comma, we need to eat very quickly. When you check complex sentences with our "is it true that" trick, you have to check both sides of the sentence again, but one side is going to be a yes answer as a complete sentence, and one side is going to be a no answer as a fragment. So since we were running late, comma, so let's use our trick. Is it true that since we were running late? Huh? We wait for more information. What happened because we're running late? That is a dependent clause or a fragment, so that is not a complete sentence. Is it true that we need to eat very quickly? Yes, we need to eat quickly. That's a complete sentence. A complete sentence can be joined to a incomplete, a fragment, or a dependent clause, and that makes a complex sentence. When you have been correcting your fragments and you add a complete sentence to them, you have been making complex sentences. So as long as there's a yes on one side and a no on the other, then it's a complete sentence. It's a complex sentence. We want to make sure as writers that we know all the types of sentences, so we can vary our sentence type when we write, instead of just writing a simple sentence, a simple sentence, a simple sentence, because that makes our writing very choppy. But when you mix complex sentences, compound sentences, simple sentences into your writing, it makes it more sophisticated. It varies your sentence structure. It helps your paragraph flow smoother, and people are more impressed with your writing. So we want to make sure that we know what these types of sentences are, and we want to make sure we know how to create them so we can use them in our writing as well. So again, will you check on page 7 of your packet? Okay, so you're going to be making a compound sentence out of 2 simple sentences. All right. So the directions say, using the most sensible comma and conjunction, combine the following simple sentences or independent clauses into compound sentences. So remember your fanboys. You can use any of those conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. But you always have to have a conjunction that joins them. And it always has to be in the order of comma, conjunction, comma, conjunction, comma, conjunction. I'm going to say that a million times so it gets into your head and you can hear that pattern, because you should always have it in that order: comma, then your conjunction. So for example, Tim is nice, period. Larry is mean, period. Those are 2 simple sentences, and we want to make them into one compound sentence. So we can change that to Tim is nice, comma, but Larry is mean. Okay, comma, but makes that be the magic glue that glues it together, and it makes it a complete sentence. So it is a compound sentence. Let's look at number 1. I love chicken wings, period. Salt potatoes are a waste of my time. So you can use, again, any of those conjunctions that make sense to you and for the sentence. And you always have to put a comma where that period of the first sentence is, add your conjunction, uncapitalize that second sentence, and join them together. So I love chicken wings, comma, but salt potatoes are a waste of my time. I like chicken wings, comma, but becomes that magical glue that makes it okay in a compound sentence. You are rewriting these sentences. Write them out on your paper so you get in the habit of making that comma and conjunction in that order. It's always in that order. Hint. At first, Julia wanted to see a movie, period. Then she changed her mind. Again, we're going to take a comma where that period of the first sentence is, add a conjunction, make that second sentence lowercase, and finish our sentence off. At first, Julia wanted to see a movie, comma, and then she changed her mind, period. Okay. Again, when you're rewriting these, you should have capitals at the beginnings of your sentences. Your commas should be big enough so anyone can see them, and your end of your sentences should have punctuation. Remember, we are in English class. Okay. Again, a reminder for compound sentences, it is always, always, always comma, conjunction, comma, conjunction, comma, conjunction in that order. Okay. You're going to go ahead and finish number 3 and 4 for homework. So turn to page 8. You'll be able to go back to that and finish at the end of the video. So page 8 says, label each of the following sentences: S if it's simple, C if it's a compound sentence, or F if it's a fragment. If the sentence is a fragment, you're going to rewrite it by adding a subject or a verb to make it a complete sentence. So be sure when you rewrite these that you're checking it with your "is it true" that trick, so you are sure that you're creating a complete sentence. Also, if you do not remember how to fix these, you have examples of how to fix your fragments in your first sentence packet. And if you don't remember what a simple sentence or a compound sentence looks like, go back to your notes. Okay. Before you start anything on this page, I'd like you to write this key somewhere on your paper. You can do it on the top, you can do it on the bottom. I don't care, but all of your answers are going to be one of the following. S is going to be your answer if it's a simple sentence. So please write S equals simple somewhere on your paper. Underneath that, C equals compound. Okay. C is going to be your answer for compound sentences. And then frag is going to be your answer for any of the fragments. And then you're going to rewrite them. You can add a subject or a verb if it needs it, or you can attach it to a complete sentence, making a complex sentence. Okay. So let's look at number 1. We had a good time, but everything must end. Okay. Again, if it's a 2-part sentence, we have to check both sides with our is it true that. And if it's a yes on both sides and it has a comma and a conjunction in it, it's a compound sentence. If it has a yes on one side and a yes on the other, but it does not have a comma and a conjunction, it's a run-on, and we can't have that. That's not a sentence. All right. But because this does have a comma and a conjunction, it has to be a compound sentence. So is it true that we had a good time? Yes. Is it true that everything must end? Yes. Okay. Notice I'm not including the comma and the conjunction in my is it true that trick. So don't let it influence your decision on that. Cut that conjunction out to check both sides. As long as you can answer yes on both sides and there's a comma and a conjunction in the middle, this answer is going to be C, compound. Okay. Again, you need to test both sides with that is it true that trick. If you can answer yes to both sides and there's a comma and a conjunction, it's complete. I'm going to ask you to skip to number 3. If I'm late. So we're going to use our is it true that to check. Is it true that if I'm late? And sometimes with conjunctions, they get tricky. So you can even say, is it true that if I am late? Either way, you're still waiting for something. If you're late, what happens? We're waiting for more information. So this is a fragment. You're going to write frag. Sorry, there's only enough there, but you're going to write frag on the line, and then we have to fix it. So we need to make that complete. So we're going to add a comma where that exclamation point is, and we're going to attach it to a complete sentence. So if I'm late, comma, my parents will be mad at me, period. Again, you can write that right next to the answer. You can add it on to the answer, or you can number it at the bottom and rewrite it there. As long as you're fixing your fragments, I don't care where you do it. The ones that you're going to answer simple for are going to be complete sentences that just talk about one idea. Okay, so your answers for page 8 in your packet are either going to be an S, a C, or a frag. Okay, you also are going to finish that page for homework tonight, and I'd like you to look at page 9 in your packet. On this page, you're going to talk about, identify all 3 sentence types. So there's a reminder at the top of your paper. A simple sentence is one independent clause, just one complete sentence with one idea. A compound sentence is 2 independent clauses joined by a comma and a conjunction. And complex sentences are an independent clause, which is a complete sentence, joined with a dependent clause, a fragment. Okay, so the directions for page 9 say, read the following sentences. Some are simple, some are compound, and some are complex. If the example is simple, please write S in the blank. If the example is compound, please write C in the blank. And if it's complex, please write X. Use is it true that to help you in your decision making. Again, we're going to make a key so we know what our answers are. So somewhere on your paper, write this key. If it is a simple sentence, it's going to be an answer of an S. So write S equals simple. If it's a compound sentence, it's going to be an answer of a C. And if it's a complex sentence, it's going to be an X. And that gets a little tricky because compound and complex both start with C. So compound is the C, complex is the X, right? So number 1, we have to decide if this is a simple, compound, or complex sentence. Because you ate first, There was no food left for us. So that's a two-part sentence right there. So it cannot be a simple sentence. So now we have to decide, is it a compound sentence or a complex sentence? It's a complex sentence because if you use your is it true that trick to help you answer, one side is going to be a no and one side is going to be a yes for a complex sentence. For example, is it true that because you ate first? What happened because I ate first? I don't know. Is it true that there was no food left for us? Yes. Okay, so there's a yes on one side. It's a complete sentence attached to a fragment. That is okay. It's a complex sentence. Your answer is going to be an X. Number 2, I think you're the coolest cat in town. And again, the coolest cat just means you're a really awesome person. So, is it true that I think you're the coolest cat in town? That's just one idea. It's a simple sentence. It's complete. Okay. Yep, you're the coolest cat, or no, you're not the coolest cat. So it's a simple sentence. Okay. And I want you to skip to number 4. I hit a triple comma, but I slipped going around second base. Again, it's a two-part sentence, so it cannot be simple. And I see that it has a comma and a conjunction. So let's check both sides to make sure it's complete. Is it true that I hit a triple? Yep. Is it true that I slipped going around second base? Yes. This is going to be a compound sentence because both sides, when I check the sentence, we can answer yes, and there's a comma and a conjunction in the middle. Okay. That comma conjunction package is a really big hint to you that it is a compound sentence. No other sentence would have a comma and a conjunction in it. Okay. So, last thing. You're going to go back to page 7, 8, and 9, and you're going to finish them in your sentence structure packet. Okay. Each of those pages have different directions, so reread them if you need to. And each of those pages have different keys. Okay. Page 7, you're rewriting those sentences. Page 8 and 9, look at that key that we made. And again, if you ever need a refresher or you're unsure or you're doing it and you're not understanding, go back to the video, watch that section again, and then go back to your homework, and we will discuss in class. Okay, thank you.